Alright guys, Rooster here in Tennessee, Thunderbolt 305. Every time I get one of these in, I like to do a video on it. I hadn't decided whether I'm going to sell this one yet or not. Just got it in yesterday. Actually got this one from a good friend of mine. He knows I'm crazy about these things. I mean, it's my favorite amp ever made. Just like the Cobra 1000 is my favorite radio ever made, this is my favorite amp ever made. Everybody's got their preference. But as far as sweep tube amps go, I don't think there was a better designed amp, a more durable amp, just an all-around great amplifier. And they look badass too. I mean, this one's got some writing on the front of it, but hey, they look great, they talk great, they don't tear up all the time. What more could you ask for? They're not the best because they produce the most power. They're the best because they're reliable. 6 LQ6s is what they run. 1 driving 3. This one's not too bad on the inside. It needs cleaned up, but I mean, everything is there, and once it's wiped down, it'll actually be really clean. Matched set of tubes over here. Single 6 LQ6 there. Notice all of the tubes are standing up vertically, and that's just another reason why this is superior to something like a Firebird 500. You've got the driver tube that lays down flat, and generally that cuts into the life of the driver tube. Also, it has a fan in it. Something else that some of the similar amps don't have. They don't have fans in them, so it cuts into the tube life quite a bit. I've got one of these that I still run to this day. I've been driving it with a 35 watt radio, Cobra 1000, for many, many years, going on 5.5, 6 years, and it has not lost virtually any power. It does maybe 15 watts less than it did the day I got it. So they're very durable and very reliable. You know, replacing capacitors and stuff like that is normal if you've got one that hasn't been refurbished, but other than that, they just seem to not tear up. A friend of mine that sold this to me wasn't sure that he worked, so he sold it to me at a reasonable price. I took a chance on it, bought it, and lo and behold, I'll let you guys be the judge of if I got a good deal on it or not. And again, the Thunderbolt 305. 1.6 LQ6 driving 3. I've already pre-tuned it for PEP maximum output. So with that being said, let's get into it here and show you what this thing does. Again, I haven't decided whether I want to sell it yet or not, but we'll see. I'm kind of a hoarder when it comes to these. I've got 2 of them right now. Average power first, bottom scale, 1000 watt slug. We're rocking about 120 watt dead key, which is fine on this amp. Won't hurt it. Hello, over 200 average. Hello, audio. There you go. And now PEP, still looking at the bottom scale, 1, 2, 3, audio check, 1, 2, 3, 600 watts PEP. And that's really about the tops I've ever seen out of one of these, so this is a stout amp. Stands a good chance these tubes are pretty new in it. I think mine does about 550 in there that I talk on, and I think it does about 180 to 200 average. So this one does a little bit more average and a little bit more PEP. So this is a stout Thunderbolt. It's holding the tune. It's not falling back when I'm talking into it as it warms up, and I can get off the key and come right back to it, and it's going to sit here and do the same amount of power. There you guys go. The preamp on this one, it actually does work. I tested it a second ago. To my surprise, the little receive preamp does actually work and boost the receive. Sideband delay, check, actually does work. Let's see what the meter's doing here. Ooh. So if we're looking at that 1000 watt meter there, ooh, this thing's actually not too far off. Check. Audio. It's showing about 200 with less than 100 watt dead key. So if you were going by that little scale and you said, okay, that's average power, it's actually pretty close. Of course, somebody's done some writing on the front of this one, their recommendation on what order to tune the tuners in. This knob doesn't work. This is just a drive knob. I usually leave it wide open on all of mine anyway, but they've just got it wide open, and it doesn't do anything now. The cover is laying down here on the floor. When I got it, didn't have any screws in it. Cover was just sitting on top of it. So generally when you see that on an amp, you think, well, hell, it doesn't work because somebody probably tried to repair it and they couldn't get it fixed, so they just left the cover off of it. But to my surprise, this thing is actually working, and it is strong. Very nice Thunderbolt 305. I wish they hadn't wrote on the front of it, but it is what it is. Somebody probably planned on keeping it. You know, if it's yours, you do what you want to with it. Good power cord on it. Nice long power cord. When you're tuning one of these, don't go through this one time and think, oh, that's all it's going to do. You know, I've got it tuned for max output, that's it. As you tune these tuners, this will change. So let's say that I turn this one up and it comes up to 450 watts, and I've already been through them all one time. Well, I'll go back to this one and turn it to the left or the right, and it may jump up to 500 watts, and then hit the drive, comes up to 525. Guess what? Take a break, start back over. You know, if this is the first tuner that you touch, start back over at it, and you're at 525. Okay, now we're at 545. Let's go back to the load. 565. Let's go back to the drive. You know, 575, and then you go back through it one more time, and you get the maximum output. And then you just cycle through it one time at the end to make sure it's still in, you know, that you've hit all the knobs to their max. Don't detune these. I like to tell people that for their own good. Don't detune any of these tube amps. Tune them for maximum output. When you detune them, that's actually harder on the tubes than overdriving them. Using these to vary the power is not right. It's the incorrect way to turn your power down. If you want the amp to do less power, hit it with a less powerful radio. Don't use these as like a variable power knob, because that is not what they are. This was originally designed to be a variable power, but that goes for any amp out there. You get some bad information, guys. People tell you, tune them for max output and then back off the load. That is the worst thing you can do. I hope nobody wants to get on here and argue with me about that, because if you do, you're wrong, and that's just putting it nicely. I hate when people give that bad information out there. Tune them for maximum output, and they will run a lot longer than they will when you detune them. That's it, guys. Thunderbolt 305, Rooster in Tennessee. I hope you enjoy it. It is my favorite amp ever made. Hands down, bar none. In my opinion, the best tube amp ever made. Catch you guys out there, Rooster in Tennessee. See you, bye.